John, thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thanks for having me.
So perhaps if you could just introduce Lizardtech and tell us a bit more about what you do.
Sure. So Lizardtech's a US-based company. We're best known for our image compression technology called Mr. SID. And what that allows you to do is to compress your imagery to about 5% of its original size, but keep the visual quality very, very high. And we're actually celebrating our 20th year in business this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what's brought you to DGI this year?
Well, we've attended DGI in the past, and we're back again this year because being involved with image compression, our biggest customer in the United States is NGA, the Department of Defense, and certainly with a lot of the talks that are taking place this year with the UK MOD as well as from Australia, Canada, there's a lot of other customers we can reach out and touch while we're here, and it's a good show for us.
Now, to me anyway, image compression, it doesn't seem like anything particularly unique. Mm-hmm. What is it about what Lizardtech offer that actually makes it different from the competition?
Sure. So we use a different kind of image compression than most out there do. A lot of people are familiar with, say, WinZip, where you just compress all the imagery, and then if you want to use any part of it, you have to decompress the entire image. With Mr. SID, our image compression format, it actually transforms the data into what we call wavelet space, and that's something for the mathematicians to worry about how it actually works. But the gist of it is, it's much smaller, the visual quality remains very high, and additionally, you don't have to decompress the entire image. You can just decompress a small portion of it, and so that extracts very, very quickly and can be sent over the internet very fast as well. And it has a great advantage that it's supported in all the GIS applications that you see here. So whether it's ESRI or ERDOS, Intergraph, whatever that might be, you can be sure that if your imagery is in Mr. SID format, you can view it in your applications.
Now, when you call it imagery, we're not just talking about pictures, are we? There's more levels to that.
Sure, absolutely. Most of our customers are using aerial and satellite imagery. So if it's aerial, it's probably going to be acquired for maybe 5,000 feet. Satellite could be anywhere out to hundreds of miles. And one thing we're seeing more now with this satellite and aerial imagery is they're not just collecting visual bands. Traditionally, you would collect red, green, and blue bands. Well, now they're collecting infrared bands or other multispectral bands. And with the latest release of our Mr. SID format last year, we can now compress up to 255 bands to the Mr. SID format. So it's really a great advantage for our customers to be able to compress all that data.
So how are you seeing the needs of those people in the geospatial space changing? And what are Lizardtech doing then to address those changes?
Well, the hyperspectral support that I just mentioned is one of those key factors. Additionally, though, we're seeing more collection of LiDAR point cloud data. So our Mr. SID Generation 4 format, MG4, supports compression of LiDAR data to the Mr. SID format as well. We're also seeing the increase of trying to send large data sets down over small data connections, small pipes. And everybody says that storage is cheap, so why do you need to compress the data? Well, storage might be cheap, but the bandwidth to get that imagery deployed out, especially over sparse connections downrange that you might have with troops that are in combat, the advantage of compressing that data becomes pretty clear when you can get the imagery out that much faster.
So you say that we're talking about small cost for storage, but when you're talking about the compression, what kind of volumes are we actually dealing with? What kind of difference in size are we talking about?
Well, so 10 years ago when you had Landsat imagery that might be 80 meter per pixel, image data sets might be 100 megabytes. Well, now with resolution getting higher and higher and collecting more bands, now we're dealing with data sets that are terabytes in size at least. If not more. So, we're seeing even data that's compressed might be hundreds of gigabytes. So the volume continues to increase and increase and increase.
So what can we expect to see coming out of the Lizardtech labs over the next year or so?
Well, that's a really good question. As I said, we've been working on some of this multispectral compression. We've just recently introduced what we call per band compression. So now each individual band can be compressed at different levels, and so we'll be addressing more of those sort of advanced workflows, advanced user needs in the future.
Well, thank you very much for speaking with us. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I look forward to speaking to you later again.
Absolutely. Thanks very much.
Cheers.